When Enka started back in the mid 70s, we basically were creating control systems that automated a single process. And then in the late 80s and then into early 90s, we started adding loaders onto the machines. So now you have a machine that can run unattended. You can do some geometry measurement and compensation with a laser, which again came a little bit later. So we've now created a whole machine that can run a batch that's autonomous. So for us, Ames was kind of the next logical step that's like, all right, well, what if we just automated the whole tool production process? And that's kind of where we're headed now. We're hearing a lot of people trying to figure out how to deal with the volatility of raw material costs at the moment, in particular carbide. There's been this massive spike in the price of the raw materials that go into their products. And then how do we cope with that? Do we essentially take a hit on profitability, or do we tackle it head on? And automation and increasing efficiency is one of the ways that you can tackle it head on and kind of compensate in the other way in order to have an end result where you can absorb some of the price increase without having to negatively affect pricing to your customers. In a high carbide cost environment, anytime your machine isn't producing revenue generating product, it's costing you additional money. So you've already taken a hit on the carbide, and then your machine's essentially just, pulling extra money out of your potential revenue stream, your potential profit margins. So it's just waste, and it's waste on top of a hit that you've already taken on your raw material. So it just confounds in that manner. I guess the previous iteration, let's say Industry 3.0 of automation, you're typically applying automation to an individual process rather than the manufacturing workflow overall. And within those silos, kind of one automation solution isn't necessarily communicating to another one. Whereas Ames, we're really kind of gluing all of the different machines in your production process together with Ames as sort of a network and connectivity layer. That means all those machines are tending data to kind of a central orchestration system. And then we're able to make decisions based on that data and flow the conclusions of those decisions down to the pieces of equipment that need it. And then that allows us to optimize things like downtime. So you don't have machines sitting there waiting for raw material to process. The system's aware that this machine is ready to accept more work. We'll trigger the auto fetch or an operator to go bring more work to that machine. So it's about creating this interconnected, communicating ecosystem within your factory where the right thing is getting the right data at the right time in order to drive your efficiency up. If you think about turn-by-turn GPS navigation, which almost all of us use nowadays, was able to reduce travel time by 10 to 25% and have a 10 to 15% savings in fuel economy. And it's pretty drastic if you think about it. And it's one of those things that you don't really spend that much time thinking about, but it's really fundamentally changed how we all are able to get around now, where you have access to all that information. And so many times I think people fall into the trap of not realizing that the same efficiency gains are available in their manufacturing operations if they just get that real-time data to the people that need to make those decisions. Unfortunately, they're just sort of wasting 10 to 30% really of potential efficiency gains just by not having a platform like Ames that's tending real-time information to the people that need it right when they need it so they can make a decision at the optimum time. We have one customer that's running 5 machines with Ames Automate. They've seen a 30% increase in productivity per machine. And there's a lot of different ways that we achieve that. We take operations that currently cause machine downtime, like programming in the schedule for the different tools to be made, and we completely automate that. So the data is sent automatically to the machine. We optimize in a number of different ways as well, with the robot always being ready to switch over to the next pallet. So again, as long as you're feeding more pallets to the machine, it's pretty much in production 99% of the time. We have another customer that found a 60% drop in the amount of labor required to produce their cutting tools, again, applying Ames Automate. We've seen with Ames Connect somewhere between 10 and 25% increase in productivity when using Ames Connect versus when not. So all of these things kind of flow through to real results. automation to me is a tool that is something that you can apply that is within your control, helps you get better utilization, lower scrap rate, lower labor costs for the same output to control against fluctuations and things that you can't control, like increasing labor rates in many markets across the world. That's been a trend for quite a long time, as well as volatile raw material costs that you really don't have much control over. So these are sort of optimizations that can help you get more efficiency out of what you already have.